You've got about 7 seconds to make a first impression in an interview. 7 seconds, but for most freshers, the interview is over before they've even finished introducing themselves. Imagine this. You've dedicated years to your studies, refined your resume until it shines, and you're dressed to impress. The panel greets you with warm smiles and poses a simple icebreaker question. In those fleeting seconds, a silent decision is often made. Nope, not this one. Why? It's almost never about your skills or your degree. It's because of tiny, almost invisible mistakes that freshers make without even realizing it. You walk in thinking you're ready, but these simple slip-ups could be torpedoing your chances. As someone who has sat on more interview panels than I can count, looking at hundreds of bright, hopeful candidates just like you, I've seen the same missteps happen over and over again. I'm not here to criticize, I'm here to pull back the curtain and give you the honest truth from the other side of the table so you can land that critical first job, so stick with me. Because this advice could completely change your career trajectory. And listen closely, because mistake number 5 is one that trips up even the most prepared candidates. Let's get real about today's job market. A single job posting for a fresher role can easily pull in hundreds of resumes. A walk-in interview? That means dozens of hopefuls lined up for maybe 2 or 3 spots. In an environment this crowded, the interview isn't about finding a perfect seasoned pro, it's about filtering out risk. Interviewers don't expect you to have a decade of experience. That's not the point. What we're really looking for are 3 core things: a great attitude, clear thinking, and whether you'll be a good fit for the team. We're trying to answer one simple question: can we train this person? But in the 15 or 20 minutes you get, it's the little things that make the biggest impact. A bad first impression, a rushed answer, or zero genuine enthusiasm can knock out a huge chunk of candidates before we're even halfway through. The good news? Every single one of these common mistakes is totally fixable. So let's break down the 7 most common blunders that cost freshers their jobs and what you can do to avoid them. The first mistake is showing up for an interview without doing your homework on the company. This sounds like a no-brainer, but it's a fatal error. An interviewer will almost always poke at this with a question like, so why do you want to work here? Or what do you know about us? The problem is the generic, empty answer we hear all the time. Well, this is a very reputable company and it would be a great opportunity for me, or even worse. To be honest, I don't know a lot, but I'm a fast learner. These phrases are interview killers. They tell us you didn't even invest 15 minutes to learn who we are. The impact is immediate. If you don't know anything about the company, how can you explain why you're a good fit? It sends a clear message that you're just looking for any job, not this job. Out of a stack of 50 resumes, the candidate who says, I saw your company recently launched Project X, or I really connect with your core value of Y, immediately jumps to the top. A lack of research makes us wonder if you're truly committed or if we'll be hiring for this same role again in 6 months. The fix is simple and takes less time than watching an episode of your favorite show. Spend 15-20 minutes on the company's website. Check out their About Us page, their mission, and what they've been up to lately. Then, when they ask why you want to work there, you can say something real. For example, I was really impressed by a recent initiative in sustainable packaging, and that's something I'm passionate about. I'd be excited to contribute to a company that's so forward-thinking. The moment you do that, you go from being just another applicant to a genuinely engaged candidate. The second mistake isn't something you say, but a mindset that quietly kills your chances. Thinking, I have no experience, so I have nothing to offer. This feeling is super common, but it's also super destructive. The problem is that this insecurity leaks out in everything you do. It shows up as a shaky voice, avoiding eye contact, or using apologetic language. When you undervalue yourself, you're basically giving the interviewer permission to do the same. The impact: you fail to project the one thing we're actually looking for in a fresher potential. We know you're starting out, we've seen your resume. We aren't trying to hire a seasoned expert for a fresher role. We want to hire someone who is passionate, curious, and hungry to grow. If you give off a low confidence, apologetic vibe, the question in our heads becomes, does this person have the drive to handle challenges and actually learn? The solution is a mental flip. Stop seeing your lack of experience as a weakness and start seeing it as your superpower. You're a blank slate, free from bad habits and ready to be molded. Your experience isn't zero, it's your college projects, your internships, your volunteer work, and even that time you organized a college fest. Before the interview, reframe your thoughts. Instead of "I have no experience," think "I bring a fresh perspective and a solid academic background." Instead of saying "I've never done that," try. While I haven't done that professionally, my college project on a similar topic taught me how projecting eagerness is way more powerful than faking experience. In an interview, how you carry yourself can speak volumes. Poor body language is the third major mistake that gets freshers shown the door in the first few minutes. So much of communication is nonverbal. The problem is that nerves have a way of showing up physically. We see candidates who walk in without making eye contact, offer a limp, dead fish handshake, slouch in their chair, or fidget nervously with a pen. The impact is that within seconds, the interviewer has subconsciously filed you under unconfident, unprofessional, or just not that interested. It doesn't matter how brilliant your answers are later if the panel has already mentally checked out. We've seen smart, qualified candidates get passed over for this reason alone. A clean appearance and confident posture build instant trust and show you respect the opportunity. The solution is all about preparing yourself physically. For clothes, it's always better to be a little overdressed than underdressed business. Casual is a safe bet. Make sure they're clean and neat. Practice a firm handshake. When you walk in, smile and make eye contact with everyone. Sit up straight, it instantly projects confidence. These small tweaks completely change the energy you bring into the room. In the pressure cooker of an interview, it's natural to want to answer instantly to prove you're sharp, but this leads to mistake number 4. Not actually listening to the question and rushing headfirst into an answer. The impact is huge. It makes you look like you have poor listening skills or that you panic under pressure. In any job, an employee who doesn't listen to instructions is a liability. The interview is a test run for how you'll be on the job, and rushing suggests you aren't careful or thoughtful. The solution is so simple, it's almost funny. Just pause. After the interviewer finishes their question, take 2 seconds. Just breathe and think. That tiny pause does 2 amazing things. It proves you heard the entire question and it makes you look controlled and thoughtful. An interview isn't a game show. There's no prize for the fastest buzzer. And if a question is confusing, it's totally finay and actually in precipito, ask for clarification. Saying "that's a great question, just to make sure I'm answering it correctly. Are you asking about X or Y?" shows you care about giving a relevant, precise answer. Okay, this is the big one I mentioned at the start. It's the mistake that can sink you on the spot. After you've made a good first impression, the actual substance of your answers is what wins you the job. And the 5th mistake is giving answers that are vague, full of cliches, or just giving up. The problem is hearing a candidate say, "My biggest strength is I'm a hard worker," with nothing to back it up. Or when asked about a challenge, they give a mushy response like, "I just worked really hard and figured it out." The absolute worst is when they're hit with a tough question and just reply with a flat, "I don't know." The impact, you become instantly forgettable. Vague answers hide your true potential and make you sound like the 10 other people who also claim to be team players. A quick "I don't know" signals you're not willing to even try to solve a problem. We aren't just listening to your words, we're looking for proof. The solution is to use a simple storytelling formula called the STAR method. It stands for situation, task, action, and result. Instead of just saying you're a hard worker, tell a story that proves it. Situation. In my final semester, I was juggling 2 massive projects and studying for finals at the same time. Task. I had to deliver a high-quality software project while also making sure I passed all my exams. Action. So, I created a strict weekly schedule, broke the project into small daily goals, and worked closely with my partner to stay on track. Result. We ended up submitting the project ahead of schedule, got an A on it, and I passed all my exams. That experience really taught me how to perform under pressure. See? That story turns a boring claim into a memorable achievement. And if you truly don't know the answer to a technical question, never just say, "I don't know." Show your thought process instead. I haven't run into that specific issue before, but here's how I would start to tackle it. This shows you can think on your feet, which is way more valuable. An interview is not the place to air your dirty laundry. The sixth common mistake is being negative, careless with your words, or making wild promises you can't keep. This happens when a candidate starts complaining about their college, their professors, or a past internship. Even if your complaints are valid, the interview isn't the place. Another version of this is overpromising with absurd claims like, "Oh, I can learn any software in a day," or sounding desperate by saying, "Honestly, I'll take any job you have." The impact of negativity is that it instantly makes you look unprofessional and like you might be a source of drama on the team. If you complain about your last boss, we'll just assume you'll eventually complain about us. Overpromising makes you sound arrogant or just naive, and it sets you up for failure. And desperation doesn't make you look eager, it makes you look like you don't value your own skills. The solution is to always frame your experiences in a positive or neutral light. If you had a tough time, focus on what you learned. Instead of, "My project group was lazy," try, "I took on a leadership role in my last project to help bring together some different working styles, which taught me a ton about team management." And always show realistic enthusiasm. A great phrase is, "I'm really excited to learn and grow in a role like this, and I'm confident I can start contributing to the team quickly." Honesty and a positive spin are always the right move. The final mistake is a collection of communication blunders, talking way too much or way too little, using filler words, and most importantly, having no questions for the interviewer. Nerves are usually the culprit here. Some candidates will ramble for 5 minutes answering a simple question, while others give one-word answers that make the conversation feel like pulling teeth. They fill the silence with ums and likes, which drains their credibility. But the biggest flub of all comes at the very end. When the panel asks, "So, do you have any questions for us?" the worst possible answer is, "Nope, I think you covered everything." Rambling makes you lose the interviewer's attention. One-word answers make you seem bored or unable to express yourself. But having no questions is a giant red flag. It screams a lack of genuine interest in preparation. It makes us think you don't care enough to know more about the role, the team, or what you'd actually be doing all day. The solution is to practice being concise. Aim for your answers to be around 60 to 90 seconds long enough to be detailed, short enough to be engaging. And you absolutely must have at least 2 or 3 smart questions ready for the end. Don't ask about salary or vacation time, that's for later. Ask questions that show you're already thinking like an employee. For example, what would a successful first 90 days look like for someone in this role? What are some of the biggest challenges this team is working on right now? What do opportunities for professional growth and learning look like here? Asking good questions flips the whole dynamic. It shows you're interviewing them too, and it leaves a powerful, lasting impression that you are a serious, engaged professional. So, after all that, here's the secret to what's really going through an interviewer's mind. We're basically asking 3 quiet questions about you. Can we train you? Are you eager and able to learn? Will you fit in? Do you have a positive vibe and can you communicate? Are you going to stick around? Are you genuinely interested in this company and this role? An interview is not an exam to test what you already know. It's an audition to see your potential. I have personally hired average students with fantastic can-do attitudes over star students who came off as arrogant or unprepared. You aren't being judged for what you don't have. You're being evaluated on your enthusiasm and your willingness to learn. Now that you know these common pitfalls, you can sidestep them and walk into your next interview with the confidence you deserve. This isn't about changing who you are. It's about making sure the best version of you shows up. If this video gave you an aha moment, let me know in the comments, what's your single biggest fear about job interviews? Sharing it might just help someone else realize they're not alone. And if you found this advice helpful, please give this video a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's next. Remember, you're not failing, you're learning. Every single interview, even the ones that don't lead to a job, is just practice. I believe in your potential. Now go nail that next interview. Thanks for watching.